My name is Ikram Mustafa. I once served as an imam before moving to the United States later in life. For years, I believed I had found my true purpose and calling. But then, one day, everything changed. My faith, my family, my entire existence, everything I thought I knew was completely upended. To understand my journey, we must go back to that pivotal year. Before I share the life-altering experience that followed my diagnosis, you need to understand a crucial turning point that happened years earlier. It was a moment that left an indelible mark on my soul and set the stage for what was to come. In 1997, while still serving as an imam in my homeland, I came across a mysterious group of individuals. They were known as the Seekers of Truth, a clandestine organization dedicated to uncovering spiritual and metaphysical secrets long hidden from the public eye. Intrigued, I attended one of their secret gatherings. The meeting took place in a dimly lit basement, adorned with ancient manuscripts and artifacts. The air was thick with incense and a sense of anticipation. As I took my seat among the other attendees, an elderly man who seemed to be the leader stepped forward. His eyes were piercing, filled with an otherworldly wisdom. "We are here to seek the ultimate truth," he began, his voice resonating through the room. "To understand the mysteries of life and death, and to prepare our souls for the journey ahead." The session was unlike anything I had ever experienced. We meditated, chanted ancient hymns, and delved into esoteric teachings that challenged my understanding of faith and existence. As the night wore on, the leader revealed a prophecy that sent chills down my spine. "One among us," he declared, "will face a trial so profound that it will shake the very foundations of their belief. This trial will reveal hidden truths and lead to a revelation that could alter the course of their destiny." Little did I know, I was that chosen one. The prophecy weighed heavily on my mind, but life went on, and I eventually moved to the United States. However, the memory of that night lingered, a constant reminder that my journey was far from over. Fast forward to the present, as I lay on that hospital bed, facing my imminent death, the words of the prophecy echoed in my mind. Was this the trial foretold by the Seekers of Truth? As I drifted in and out of consciousness, I couldn't help but wonder if my impending encounter with the divine would unveil the ultimate revelation. And then it happened. The out-of-body experience that would change everything. But to fully grasp its significance, you must understand the spiritual foundation that had been laid years before. The prophecy, the secret gatherings, and the enigmatic teachings, all of it had led to this moment. Now, as I journey into the unknown, the revelation awaits. Before my diagnosis and before the prophecy began to unfold, there was a pivotal moment that forever altered my path. In 1997, while still serving as an imam in my homeland, I was introduced to a clandestine group known as the Seekers of Truth. This group was dedicated to uncovering spiritual and metaphysical secrets long hidden from the public eye. Intrigued, I decided to attend one of their secret gatherings. The meeting took place in a dimly lit basement, adorned with ancient manuscripts and artifacts. The air was thick with incense and a sense of anticipation. As I took my seat among the other attendees, an elderly man, who seemed to be the leader, stepped forward. His eyes were piercing, filled with an otherworldly wisdom. "We are here to seek the ultimate truth," he began, his voice resonating through the room, "to understand the mysteries of life and death, and to prepare our souls for the journey ahead." The session was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. We meditated, chanted ancient hymns, and delved into esoteric teachings that challenged my understanding of faith and existence. As the night wore on, the leader revealed a prophecy that sent chills down my spine. "One among us," he declared, will face a trial so profound that it will shake the very foundations of their belief. This trial will reveal hidden truths and lead to a revelation that could alter the course of their destiny. Little did I know, I was that chosen one. The prophecy weighed heavily on my mind, but life went on, and I eventually moved to the United States. However, the memory of that night lingered, a constant reminder that my journey was far from over. Fast forward to the present, as I lay on that hospital bed facing my imminent death, the words of the prophecy echoed in my mind. Was this the trial foretold by the seekers of truth? As I drifted in and out of consciousness, I couldn't help but wonder if my impending encounter with the divine would unveil the ultimate revelation. And then, it happened. The out-of-body experience that would change everything. But to fully grasp its significance, you must understand the spiritual foundation that had been laid years before. The prophecy, the secret gatherings, and the enigmatic teachings, all of it had led to this moment. Now, as I journey into the unknown, the revelation awaits. As the prophecy weighed heavily on my mind, I sought solace and understanding. It was during this period of introspection that I encountered a media group dedicated to unveiling spiritual truths, the Cosmic Seekers. They were a collective of researchers, journalists, and spiritualists who produced documentaries and articles about mystical experiences and metaphysical phenomena. Intrigued by their work, I decided to reach out. Our first meeting was held in a nondescript office, its walls lined with bookshelves filled with esoteric texts and equipment for recording and analyzing paranormal activities. The group welcomed me with open arms, eager to hear my story and share their insights. As I recounted my experiences with the seekers of truth and the prophecy, their eyes widened with interest. "We believe your journey is part of a larger tapestry," said their leader, a woman named Dr. Ilara, her voice calm yet filled with conviction. "Many have had similar experiences, and we aim to connect these threads to uncover a greater truth." Over the next few months, I collaborated with the Cosmic Seekers, participating in interviews, filming sessions, and even attending their field investigations. Each encounter deepened my understanding of the spiritual realm and the hidden connections that bind us all. One day, during a particularly intense meditation session, Dr. Ilara shared a revelation with me. "Ikram," she began, her eyes locking onto mine, "we've discovered that the prophecy you mentioned has been echoed in various cultures and religions throughout history. It speaks of a chosen one who will endure a great trial, leading to a profound spiritual awakening. We believe you are that chosen one." Her words sent a shiver down my spine. The pieces of the puzzle were starting to come together, but there was still so much I didn't understand. Dr. Ilara handed me a manuscript, its pages filled with ancient symbols and texts. "This is a compilation of prophecies from different traditions," she explained. "Study it. It may hold the key to your journey." As I delved into the manuscript, I felt a deep connection to the words and symbols. It was as if they were speaking directly to my soul, guiding me toward the revelation that awaited. The Cosmic Seekers had opened a new path for me, one that intertwined with my past experiences and the prophecy that had haunted me for years. With their support, I felt more prepared than ever to face the trial ahead. Little did I know, my encounter with the divine was just around the corner. The stage was set, and the ultimate revelation was about to unfold. And so, with the knowledge and insights gained from the Cosmic Seekers, I continued my journey, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. The prophecy, the spiritual teachings, and the media group's revelations had all led me to this point. Now, as I stood on the precipice of the unknown, I felt a sense of anticipation and resolve. The revelation awaited, and I was ready to face it. As I continued my journey with the cosmic seekers, a new layer of mystery began to unfold. One evening, while poring over the ancient manuscript Dr. Ilara had given me, I stumbled upon a series of cryptic symbols that seemed out of place. They were unlike any I had seen before, and their arrangement formed a pattern that piqued my curiosity. Intrigued, I decided to bring this discovery to the attention of the media group. Dr. Ilara and her team gathered around, their faces reflecting a mix of curiosity and anticipation. "These symbols," I began, pointing to the manuscript, "they seem to be different from the rest. Could they hold a hidden message?" Dr. Ilara examined the symbols closely, her eyes narrowing in concentration. "You're right, Ikram," she said, her voice tinged with excitement. "These symbols don't match any of the known languages or codes we've studied. We need to delve deeper." The cosmic seekers sprang into action, leveraging their extensive network of experts and resources. They reached out to cryptographers, linguists, and historians, seeking to decode the mysterious symbols. Days turned into nights as we worked tirelessly, driven by the possibility of uncovering a hidden truth. One evening, as the team was engrossed in their research, a breakthrough occurred. A cryptographer named Lucas, who had been analyzing the symbols, burst into the room, his face alight with excitement. "I think I've cracked it," he announced, holding up a sheet of paper filled with notes and translations. The room fell silent as Lucas explained his findings. "These symbols form a message," he said, his voice steady. "It's a warning and a guide. The chosen one must seek the heart of the sacred site, where the veil between worlds is thinnest. There, the ultimate revelation will be unveiled." A collective gasp echoed through the room. The message was clear, and it pointed to our upcoming expedition to the sacred site. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, and the sense of destiny grew stronger. Dr. Ilara turned to me, her eyes filled with determination. "Ikram, this message confirms what we've been sensing all along. The sacred site holds the key to your journey. We must prepare with even greater focus and reverence." With renewed resolve, the media group intensified their preparations. The discovery of the hidden message added a new layer of mystery to our mission. As we delved deeper into the mysteries of the prophecy, I felt a profound connection to the symbols and the message they conveyed. The stage was set, and the ultimate revelation awaited. With the cosmic seekers by my side, I was ready to face the unknown and embrace the destiny that lay ahead. The journey was far from over, and the hidden message had illuminated the path forward. And so, with hearts full of anticipation and minds sharpened by the discovery, we continued our preparations, ready to uncover the truth that awaited at the heart of the sacred site. The ultimate revelation was within reach, and I was prepared to embrace it. As the cosmic seekers and I delved deeper into the hidden message, the media group's dedication to uncovering spiritual truths became even more evident. Their newsroom transformed into a hive of activity, with researchers, journalists, and experts collaborating to decode the symbols and their implications. One evening, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an amber glow over the office, the media group's lead investigator, Marcus, called for an urgent meeting. His usually calm demeanor was replaced by an air of excitement and urgency. "Everyone, gather around," he said, barely able to contain his excitement. The team assembled quickly, their faces reflecting a mix of curiosity and anticipation. Marcus held up a series of documents and images. "We've been cross-referencing the symbols with ancient texts and modern cryptography. What we've found is groundbreaking," he began. He pointed to a large screen, displaying intricate diagrams and translations. "These symbols are not just a warning and a guide. They also map out a sequence of events that align with celestial phenomena. It seems we're not only dealing with a spiritual journey, but also an astronomical one. Dr. Ilara stepped forward, her eyes wide with realization. The sacred site, the prophecy, and now this celestial alignment. It's all interconnected. This discovery adds a new dimension to our mission. The room buzzed with excitement and speculation. The media group had uncovered a critical piece of the puzzle, linking the spiritual and the celestial in a way that deepened our understanding of the prophecy. Marcus continued, his voice steady, but filled with awe. This celestial event will reach its peak soon. We need to be at the sacred site during this alignment to fully grasp the revelation. A collective sense of urgency washed over us. The media group's discovery had added a new layer of significance to our mission, emphasizing the importance of timing and cosmic alignment. Dr. Ilara turned to me, her face a blend of determination and excitement. Ikram, this discovery underscores the importance of our journey. We must synchronize our efforts to align with this celestial event. Are you ready? With renewed resolve, I nodded. The media group's revelation had illuminated the path forward, adding a sense of urgency and cosmic significance to our mission. As we prepared for the journey ahead, I felt a profound connection to the prophecy, the hidden message, and the celestial alignment that awaited. And so, with hearts full of anticipation and minds sharpened by the discovery, we continued our preparations, ready to uncover the ultimate revelation at the heart of the sacred site. The cosmos had spoken, and we were prepared to listen. Just as our preparations were nearing completion, an unexpected twist added a new dynamic to our journey. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden hue over the landscape, Ikram received a call from an influential media group known as the Seekers of Truth. Their reputation for uncovering hidden realities and their commitment to spiritual truths made them a formidable ally. Ikram answered the call, his eyes widening with surprise and intrigue as he listened. "They want to collaborate with us," he announced, his voice tinged with excitement and curiosity. The room buzzed with whispers and speculation. This collaboration could amplify our efforts and bring new perspectives to our mission. Dr. Ilara, always the voice of reason and wisdom, stepped forward. This is an unexpected but welcome development. The Seekers of Truth have resources and expertise that could be invaluable to our journey. With a sense of renewed energy, we arranged a meeting with the Seekers of Truth. The following day, their team arrived at our headquarters. They were a diverse group of individuals, each with a unique background and expertise. Their leader, a charismatic and insightful journalist named Alex, greeted us warmly. "Thank you for welcoming us," Alex began. "We've been following your work closely, and we believe our combined efforts can lead to groundbreaking discoveries. Our goal is to uncover the ultimate revelation and bring it to the world." Dr. Ilara nodded in agreement. "Together, we can achieve what neither of us could alone. Let's pool our knowledge and resources to unlock the secrets of the prophecy." Over the next few days, the two teams worked in harmony, sharing insights, cross-referencing data, and planning the expedition to the sacred site. The Seekers of Truth brought advanced technology and analytical tools, while our team provided deep spiritual insights and historical context. As the collaboration progressed, a sense of camaraderie and mutual respect grew among the teams. We were united by a common goal and driven by a shared sense of purpose. The synergy between us was palpable, and it felt as though the universe had brought us together for a reason. One evening, as we gathered around a table covered with maps, documents, and equipment, Alex spoke up. "We've identified a series of celestial events that align with the symbols you've decoded. This could be the key to unlocking the prophecy." Ikram and Dr. Ilara exchanged a glance of understanding. "This confirms our findings," Ikram said. "The celestial alignment is crucial. We must be at the sacred site during this event." The room fell silent as the gravity of the situation sank in. The collaboration with the Seekers of Truth had not only enhanced our capabilities, but also added a new layer of urgency to our mission. With determination and a sense of unity, we finalized our plans. The journey ahead was fraught with challenges, but with our combined strengths, we were ready to face whatever lay ahead. And so, with hearts full of anticipation and minds sharpened by newfound insights, we prepared to embark on the next phase of our journey. The ultimate revelation was within reach, and together, we were determined to uncover it and share its profound truth with the world. As the days passed, I became more involved with the Cosmic Seekers, and the media group's dedication to uncovering spiritual truths began to captivate me. They were not just researchers and journalists. They were visionaries, driven by a mission to bring hidden realities to light. Intrigued by their fervor, I decided to immerse myself further into their world. One afternoon, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the office, Dr. Ilara gathered the team for an important meeting. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation. "We have been granted access to a sacred site," she announced, her voice tinged with excitement, "a place said to be the nexus of spiritual energy and revelation." The room buzzed with murmurs of excitement. This was a rare opportunity, one that could provide invaluable insights into the prophecy and my journey. "Ikram," Dr. Ilara said, turning to me, "we believe this site holds the next piece of your puzzle. Are you ready to join us?" Without hesitation, I agreed. The following days were a whirlwind of preparation. The media group meticulously planned every detail, from the equipment needed to the rituals we would perform. They consulted ancient texts, seeking guidance on how to approach the site with the utmost respect and reverence. On the day of our departure, the team gathered early in the morning, their faces a mix of determination and excitement. We loaded our equipment into a convoy of vehicles, each member carrying a sense of purpose. As we set off, I couldn't help but feel a sense of destiny unfolding. The journey was long and arduous, taking us through rugged landscapes and dense forests. Along the way, Dr. Ilara shared stories of past expeditions and the profound experiences they had encountered. Each tale added to the sense of mystery and anticipation. Finally, we arrived at the sacred site, a secluded valley surrounded by towering cliffs and ancient trees. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and a sense of reverence washed over us. We set up camp, the media group working seamlessly to document every step of the process. As night fell, we gathered around a central fire, the flames casting flickering shadows on our faces. Dr. Ilara led us in a meditation, her voice guiding us into a state of heightened awareness. The energy of the site seemed to pulse in harmony with our collective consciousness. In that moment of unity, I felt a profound connection to the prophecy, the spiritual teachings, and the media group's revelations. The journey ahead was uncertain, but I knew that with the Cosmic Seekers by my side, I was ready to face whatever lay ahead. And so, as the flames danced and the stars shone brightly above, I embraced the unknown, prepared for the ultimate revelation that awaited. It was the year I turned 67 when the doctors delivered the crushing diagnosis, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. They told me my time was limited and that the treatments offered only a slim chance of prolonging my life. I saw this illness as a test from Allah, much like the trial the Prophet Ibrahim endured when commanded to sacrifice his son. I clung to my faith through every chemotherapy session, murmuring prayers as the medicine coursed through my veins. Each night, as I lay in bed, I prayed with all my heart, "If I die tonight, O Allah, let me meet you in peace." Yet my prayers were answered in a way I could never have imagined. One evening after a particularly grueling chemo session, I felt a tightening in my chest. At first, I brushed it off as a cramp, but soon the discomfort became unbearable. Before long, I could barely breathe. As darkness began to close in, I saw a flurry of activity around me. Nurses and doctors shouting, their hands pressing on my chest, desperately trying to revive me. And then I realized I was watching it all from above. Yes, from above. My body lay motionless on the hospital bed, yet I remained an observer. It felt surreal. Shouldn't my consciousness have ended when my heart stopped? Yet I was fully aware. Is this death? I wondered. Am I about to meet Allah? Suddenly, I noticed a light in the distance. It was warm, inviting, and suffused with an inexplicable peace. As I moved toward that light, familiar sounds enveloped me. My mother's gentle lullabies, the evening prayers my father once recited, echoes of Quranic verses that seemed to converge into one harmonious chorus. It felt as though my entire life was unfolding before me. Stepping into the light, I thought, this is it. This must be paradise. The peace I experienced was beyond anything I had ever known. Tears streamed down my face, not from pain, but from sheer joy. Praise be to Allah, who has brought me here, I whispered. But that profound sense of peace was not to last. Suddenly, the lush surroundings began to decay. The leaves on the trees turned black, the fruit withered away, and a putrid stench of decay filled the air. Then darkness swallowed everything. The anguished cries of men, women, and children echoed in the void. Amid those voices, one cry cut through the darkness and pierced my soul. It was my mother's, "Have mercy, have mercy." Her anguished scream shattered my heart, and the darkness grew even heavier, suffocating me. I found myself trapped in a void, unable to tell up from down. Then, a deep, resonant voice broke the silence. A voice unlike any I had ever heard before. "Ikram, everything will now be revealed." In the distance, I saw a towering, imposing throne. Someone sat upon it, and as I moved closer, my knees buckled. It was a figure I recognized immediately, the Prophet Muhammad. But something was horribly amiss. This was not the end, but a new beginning, a new phase in my journey, filled with challenges and opportunities I had yet to understand. His hands were bound in chains, and his face was etched with sorrow. This can't be real, I thought. Why is he here? Why is he bound? As his eyes met mine, tears streamed down his face. The sight of his sorrow shattered something within me. This must be a mistake, I thought. I am an imam. I have devoted my life to serving Allah. I screamed, yet my cry was swallowed by the void, and then an ancient, resonant voice echoed around the throne. "The time has come for you to know the truth, Ikram," it declared. Before I could answer, a book fell from the sky, crashing to the ground and sending tremors through the surrounding darkness. I recognized it at once. It was the Quran. The pages began to turn on their own, as if guided by an unseen hand. The voice spoke again. "Who is Allah, Ikram? Have you ever truly asked yourself that question?" The inquiry struck me like a bolt of lightning. What kind of question is that, I thought? Allah is the creator of all things, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Yet the voice persisted. "How do you know he is the creator? Have you ever really contemplated it?" Panic surged within me. I had never questioned Allah's nature. I had always accepted it as an eternal truth handed down through generations. Then, images began to emerge from the pages of the Quran. History unfolded before my eyes. I saw the Kaaba, encircled by idols, worshipped with incense and offerings, with people invoking names like Allah and Al-Uzza. "This is the Kaaba before Islam," the voice intoned. Where was Allah among these gods? The realization crashed over me like a tidal wave. Before Islam, The Arabs recognized Allah as one God among many. My mind reeled as the voice continued to probe the origins of my faith. Next, the vision transported me to an ancient land where people worshipped a towering idol and offered sacrifices. Inscribed on that idol was a name I recognized, Baal. Beneath it, in a script resembling Arabic, was another name, El. The voice whispered, Baal, El Allah. Have you ever considered their connection? I sank to my knees, clutching my head in despair. The weight of these revelations was almost too much to bear. Have I been deceived? I whispered. Suddenly, I was gasping for air. My eyes fluttered open and the brilliant lights of a hospital room blindingly met me. Nurses surrounded me, their faces filled with relief as one exclaimed, "You're back." But I was not the same. The images and questions from that other realm haunted me. My faith, my beliefs, everything upon which I had built my life, now lay in doubt. Days turned into weeks as I struggled to process what I had witnessed. The doubts gnawed at me, leaving me restless. Sometimes I would stare out the window, watching the world pass by, and wonder if anyone else had ever felt the same profound uncertainty that now consumed me. My wife sensed the turmoil inside me. She would sit by my side, attempting to offer comfort, but the words I wanted to say always got caught in my throat. How could I possibly explain to her what I had witnessed? One sleepless night, I wandered out into the garden. The cool night air caressed my face as the stars shimmered above. Standing beneath that vast, star-studded sky, memories of my days as an imam rushed back. I recalled the very first time I led prayers at our mosque in Baghdad, my hands trembling as I recited from the Quran. Back then, the community had placed such deep faith in me, looking to me for guidance and answers. Now I found myself with none to offer. I thought of my grandfather, also an imam, who taught me to recite the Quran when I was just 6 years old. I remembered how his weathered hands had gently guided mine over the pages as we sat together in his study, with the aroma of cardamom coffee filling the air. "Remember, Ikram," he would say, "Allah's words are perfect." But now, those very words felt burdened with questions I had never dared to ask. The roses in the garden, tended so lovingly by my wife, Fatima, reminded me of our life in Iraq. We had a similar garden back home, where our children would play after the evening prayers. The laughter of my children, mingled with the call to prayer echoing across our neighborhood, brought tears to my eyes. What would they think if they knew their father, their imam, was now questioning everything? I remembered the day we decided to leave Iraq. The political climate had become unbearable, and several clerics had already vanished. Fatima and I had packed only what we could carry, bid farewell to our extended family, and boarded a plane to America. The journey had been terrifying, yet we believed that Allah had a plan for us. In America, we built a new life. Our mosque transformed into a sanctuary for fellow Muslim immigrants, a place not only for prayer, but also for community and belonging. I counseled countless families struggling to adapt, always urging them to return to their faith as a steadfast anchor. The irony of my present crisis of faith was not lost on me. I found my thoughts drifting to the young members of our community who had come to me with their own doubts. How often had I brushed aside their questions, insisting that faith demanded submission rather than inquiry? I remembered Sarah, a bright young woman who eventually stopped attending our mosque when her questions about the roles of women in Islam were met with harsh disapproval. Had I failed her by never acknowledging her struggles? My cancer diagnosis, which once had fortified my faith, now felt like a cruel twist. I had seen it as a chance to exhibit unwavering trust in Allah's will. The community had rallied around me, providing food for Fatima, organizing prayer circles, and even raising funds for my treatment. Yet now, the love and support I once received only deepened the sting of my crisis of faith, making me feel betrayed. One memory in particular haunted me, a conversation with my eldest son, Mustafa, just before my near-death experience. He had asked me why Allah would allow suffering if he was truly merciful. I had given him the standard explanation about divine wisdom and the fleeting nature of worldly pain. Now, as I stood in the garden, I wondered if my son's questions had been far more honest than the answers I had provided. That voice from my vision kept echoing in my mind. How do you know he is the creator? That single question pushed me down paths I had never before explored. I began researching the pre-Islamic era, the Jahiliyyah, a period we had long dismissed as an age of ignorance. But what if there was more to the story? I found myself secretly studying ancient Semitic religions, tracing the development of monotheism, and delving into the historical context surrounding the revelation of the Quran. Every new discovery felt like another crack in the very foundation of my faith. Yet I couldn't stop my search for answers. My wife, Fatima, noticed the change in me. The woman who had always been my strength now watched with growing concern as I spent hours in my study, surrounded by books that would have been off limits in my former life. She would bring me tea, her hand gently resting on my shoulder, silently asking questions she was too afraid to voice. Whispers began to circulate in our community. Why was the Imam no longer leading prayers? Why did he seem so troubled? Some blamed my cancer treatments, while others speculated that living in America had somehow corrupted me, if only they knew the internal battle raging inside my soul. I started having long, reflective conversations with Dr. Thompson, my oncologist, a scientist who had seen countless patients face their mortality. There was something about her quiet confidence that drew me in. One day, she shared her own story of growing up in a strict religious household and eventually discovering a different kind of faith, one that welcomed questions instead of fearing them. My sleepless nights grew more frequent as I paced our garden, haunted by the faces of those who had trusted me for guidance. Had I led them astray? The weight of that responsibility crushed me. Often, in the pre-dawn hours, I would begin my wudu in preparation for Fajr prayer, only to stop midway, overwhelmed by doubt. Yet, through this turmoil, I felt a strange sense of growth and transformation, as if my soul was being reshaped by the very questions that tormented me. My youngest daughter, Amira, once found me in tears. Sharing her contemplative nature, she sat quietly beside me until at last she asked softly, "Baba, is it okay to change what you believe if you discover something new?" The innocent wisdom in her question startled me. As my cancer treatments continued, each session gave me more time to reflect. The hospital chapel became my sanctuary, not for prayer, but for the quiet it offered. I would sit there for hours, watching people of various faiths come and go, each finding their own way to connect with the divine. I began to notice details I had previously overlooked. The gentle kindness of the Christian nurses who cared for me without trying to convert me. The serene expression of a Buddhist patient meditating despite his pain. The Jewish doctor who, even on Saturdays, worked tirelessly to care for her patients, honoring her own faith. One day, a young Muslim resident recognized me from the mosque. When he greeted me with "Assalamu alaikum" in the chapel, I was overcome with shame. But instead of passing judgment, he shared his own struggles with reconciling modern science and traditional beliefs. A candidness that was refreshing in its honesty. For the first time, I no longer felt isolated in my doubts. The visions from my near-death experience, the bound prophet, the ancient voice, the crumbling paradise, began to reveal their meaning as I allowed myself to explore them. Were these symbols reflecting the limitations I had imposed on my understanding of God? The questions that once filled me with terror started to feel like stepping stones toward a greater truth. For the first time in weeks, I found a small measure of peace in the quiet of the night. Standing under the stars, I whispered a prayer, not to the Allah I had always known, but to the Creator, whoever He might be. If you are real, show me the truth, I murmured, my voice trembling. The next day, a chaplain named Father John visited me. He wore a plain white robe and carried a Bible. At first I hesitated to speak with him, but his gentle, calm presence quickly eased my fears. "You saw something, didn't you?" he asked softly. I nodded, and for the first time I opened up about my experience. Tears streamed down my face as I described the vision, the throne, the chains, and that mysterious voice. Father John listened intently and without judgment. "What about Jesus?" he asked, a question that took me by surprise. Jesus. He hadn't appeared in my vision at all. But why was that? Father John then opened the Bible and read aloud, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." John 14:6. Those words struck me deeply. Could it be that Jesus was the answer I had been searching for? In the weeks that followed, I wrestled with this question. My family noticed the change in me, and soon my community began to pull away. Yet I knew I could not turn back. One morning I walked into Father John's church and declared, "I want to know the truth." He greeted me with a warm smile. "Jesus has been waiting for you, Ikram," he said. That day I made the decision to follow Jesus. As the water of baptism washed over me, an overwhelming peace settled in my heart. The chains of doubt and fear were shattered. For the first time I felt truly free. I began to notice small, subtle changes within myself. My heart, once burdened by the weight of expectations as an imam, now felt light. I found myself spending hours reading the Bible, uncovering stories and teachings that resonated deeply with me. The words of Jesus were full of compassion and truth. One night, as I read the Sermon on the Mount, tears welled in my eyes at the verse, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." I had spent so much of my life focused on rituals and appearances, but now I was beginning to understand what it truly meant to seek God with all of one's heart. Today, I wake each morning with a joy I never knew before. The cancer that once ravaged my body has mysteriously disappeared, leaving the doctors baffled. I know who healed me. Every day, I open the Bible and pray, thanking Jesus for saving me. My journey has been far from easy, yet I have found a peace that transcends all understanding. I am no longer an imam. I am simply a man transformed by the grace of God. As I share my story, I hope that others who are searching for truth will find it too. I am the way, the truth, and the life. These words have become my anchor, and they can be yours as well. As I embrace this new life, I am filled with hope and purpose, ready to face whatever comes next.